Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public, Google Podcast, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 18 available now. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram or YouTube itself. What up, world? So I just watched Dark Phoenix. It is the new movie in the X-Men franchise. I don't even know how many overall, honestly. What? 3 original trilogy, 3 Wolverine movies, 3, now 4 First Class movies, and then 2 Deadpool movies. It stars James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan, Alexandra Shipp, Cody Smit-McPhee, Jessica Chastain, Evan Peters. Evan Turner plays for the Portland Trailblazers. I feel like I'm forgetting one of the Young Mutants. But it's directed by Simon Kinberg, who has wrote most of this franchise. This is his directorial debut. If you want to get a shout out in my review of either Shaft or Men in Black International, stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out how you can do that. It's the early 90s, and the X-Men have a new status among humans, and they go into a mission in space. And there's an accident. Jean Grey absorbs so much like energy that like she can't control her powers. She's the most powerful mutant on Earth, and like she snaps. Like she has these outbursts, and she has these Dark Phoenix powers. You know, as per most comic book movies, damn near all comic book movies, it's up to the heroes, the X-Men, to save the world. This was announced a while ago. This might have been announced around the time X-Men Apocalypse came out. It was originally scheduled to come out last November, and it was on my most anticipated list last year. It didn't make it this year, though. I mean, there's just too much heat coming out this year. And you know, I love this franchise. I've lived with this franchise since I was 14 years old. Through the highs, through the lows, and lately, a lot of experts, you know, professional reviewers, critics, as they're called, like to say that this franchise is running out of steam, and the X-Men franchise is going out in a whimper. Like, dog, no, it's not. This is an enjoyable movie. Like, let me say this before I get to the end of the video, get to editing, and I just like hit myself in the head because I forgot to say what I really wanted to say. I've seen reactions to this movie that say it's amazing. I've seen reactions to this movie that say it's trash. I've seen reactions to this movie that say it is a middle of the road X-Men movie. Don't look at Rotten Tomatoes. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't look at box office. If you have any curiosity in this movie or any movie ever, go see it. Form your own opinion and then compare what you thought with everybody talking shit or putting it up. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way the world should work. Not like, oh, this Dark Phoenix got 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm not gonna see it. Or, oh, opening day, it didn't make what Days of Future Past made, it must be bad. Go see it, man. Like, this movie, this series, this franchise has always given dope, strong performances. Has always gotten quality acting. And no different here. You know, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender have always, no matter what the movie is, given 110%. Jennifer Lawrence has been hit or miss for me. Honestly, in this one, she's a miss for me. Like, she was fine. But, like, she's strong in Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and then the young X-Men who are, like, brand new in Apocalypse. Ty Sheridan, especially Sophie Turner, Alexandra Shipp, Cody Smit-McPhee, they're all good. Whether it's like emotional action, conveying that they're upset. Like Ty Sheridan and Sophie Turner. Obviously, if you know anything about X-Men, Cyclops and Jean Grey are like the it couple of the X-Men, and like they're good, they're great together and just on screen. Period in this movie. Um, I will give everybody involved a pat on the back, kudos, props, as they say, for Storm still having her African accent, because y'all know Halle Berry in the original X-Men had that accent, and then in X2 it was Halle Berry, Halle Berry, Halle Berry. But it's like just like Apocalypse, Magneto and Professor X don't get that much screen time together. Like there's an event, if you've seen any of these trailers, y'all know something happens that puts a device straight down this team. Like there's somebody to blame, and then, like when it comes to Jean Grey and the Dark Phoenix, this is always what gets other X-Men to question Professor X and his methods. It happened in The Last Stand. Like Wolverine was checking him, like, bro, you playing with stuff that I don't think you fully know about. And then it happens here too. But and then speaking of The Last Stand, there was something that happened in The Last Stand that I thought was gonna happen again in this. And then I probably would have agreed with Rotten Tomatoes had that happened. But on the real, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. And like Jessica Chastain was fine. Like you can say there's two villains in this movie, but there's honestly like one host and one villain, and this villain is fine. Like she's not Kevin Bacon, she's not Peter Dinklage, she's not Oscar Isaac, but like she's serviceable. She's like y'all know them old Porky Pig cartoons. He would have an angel on one shoulder and a little devil on the other shoulder. She's like the devil on the shoulder of Jean Grey. There's Instagram accounts that like to bash this movie, that have been bashing this movie since like February, and like McAvoy said the whole third act had to be reshot because, and then it leaked that it was too similar to another comic book movie. Whether that's Captain Marvel, whether that's Endgame, whether that's Venom, whether that's Deadpool 2. Like, it doesn't matter. Of course, it's not Deadpool 2. That's all Fox within Fox within Fox. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Infinity War. Y'all get my drift. You don't want you to, like, they're gonna get, like, this movie would get shit on if it had a similar ending to another movie, but it's getting shit on because they had to reshoot the whole ending. Like this movie wasn't gonna win no matter what. And then again, like the stakes, like with all these movies, I think whether it was First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, you always felt like the world was at stake. And here you feel like it's known, like, hey, if they don't do something about this problem, the whole world could be done. But I didn't feel the urgency. Like, yeah, like they're going through what they're going through. They're doing their thing. But the stakes and the tension just wasn't felt for me. In the past two movies, I think like Quicksilver had that breakout scene because like the MCU had a Quicksilver too. So X-Men had to do something with Quicksilver, and they did it. And in my opinion, Evan Peters was a better Quicksilver in his probably 45, 50 minutes of overall screen time than Aaron Taylor Johnson was in Age of Ultron. But he's underused in this movie, and I think Simon Kinberg just didn't want to do the same thing Bryan Singer did. And I mean, that's fine. That's his directorial decision. But Quicksilver was a little underused, bro. But just this just isn't a bad movie. Like, this isn't the worst X-Men movie of all time. In my opinion, this is a middle of the road X-Men movie. I enjoyed it. It doesn't reach the heights of either Deadpool, Logan, the Wolverine, First Class, Days of Future Past, X-Men, X2 for me, but I liked it. So with all that being said, man, in my opinion, I will say that Dark Phoenix is almost dope. And like, there's been a lot of bashing of Apocalypse recently too, and rewatching that one, like, it is not bad. Like, Apocalypse was fun to me. Have you seen Dark Phoenix, man? Whether you loved it, whether you thought it was toilet paper, so Positive, negative, somewhere in between, let me know. Um, if you want that shout out in my, what I said, Men in Black or Shaft review, how much will Dark Phoenix make opening weekend, man? Be the first, be the closest. Before noon Central Time Sunday, get your guesses in. I've recently posted reviews for Godzilla, Ma, Rocket Man, Aladdin, Brightburn, John Wick. Next week, Shaft, Men in Black. The week after that, Toy Story, Child's Play. Stay tuned, man. New Rec League episodes every other week, man. Watch those. We don't just talk movies, man. We just chop it up, man. Just friendly conversation. Like, subscribe, comments. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.